Hey everyone, I hope you can see me okay. This is going to be a sort of overdue book haul. I meant to do this like 6 weeks ago, but then it turns out I have acquired more books, so it's going to be a longer book haul. So it might actually be 2 videos, based on how much I talk about everything usually. And also I meant to say that, in both my current reads and my April TBR video, I actually forgot to mention that I also am rereading Unlikely Pilgrimage of Harold Fry by Rachel Joyce, and I'm listening to the audio from Overdrive. I think it's through Overdrive. But yes, I forgot to include that in my current reading, and also I completely messed up on uploading my TBR that early. I meant to save that video, but anyway, it's like less than 2 weeks, so you guys are just seeing the stuff early. But yeah, I'll bet you guys were surprised that I uploaded an April TBR video, like, I don't know, 9 days, 10 days before the month is over. Anyway, book haul time, and with the lighting, I hope you guys can see me. I know I mentioned that, but it just seemed to get darker. But anyway, so the first one I have is from Book Depository, and that is Code of the Woosters by P.G. Woodhouse. I got this, it came in the mail maybe the 4th or 5th of February, and I know I say this every time, but I love these editions so much. These are the Arrow editions, and I think I can only get them through Book Depository, although there was that one fluke where I found a copy of The Small Bachelor in this edition in my local bookstore, but I think that was like someone probably bought it in the UK and then just sold it here, or ordered it off Book Depository and sold it here. I don't know. Anyway, so I love these. I love the text. I love the colors. I love the illustrations. In this case, the colors are green and blue, which are 2 of my favorites, and then I also love these little symbols. In this case, it's the Jeeves symbol of the top hat and gloves, and then the little arrow symbol in the bottom. I love everything about these, and I also really love how compact they are, so this can fit in my purse if I need it to. Okay, so I'll read you guys the back. It says, when Bertie Wooster goes to Totley Towers to pour oil on the troubled waters of a lover's breach between Madeline Bassett and Gussie Fink-Noddle, he isn't expecting to see his Aunt Dahlia there, nor to be instructed by her to steal some silver. But the purloining of the antique cow creamer, I'm sorry, I'm messing up, from under the baleful nose of Sir Watkin Bassett is the least of Bertie's tasks. He has to restore true love to both Madeline and Gussie, and to the Reverend Stinker Pinker and Stiffy Bing, and confound the insane ambitions of would-be dictator Roderick Spod and his black shorts. It's a situation that only Jeeves can unravel. I love that. I just think it is hilarious, and I have seen this episode of Jeeves and Wooster, which I completely loved. I'm not quite finished with the show yet, but it's because I only have like 4 or 5 episodes left, so I'm stretching them out and only watching one every couple of months or so. But this is one that I have already seen, and it is so funny, so that makes me so excited to get to this. And yeah, I'm particularly excited about this one, especially because I feel like it's the most famous of the Jeeves books, based on how often I see it referenced in pop culture. It might be the only Jeeves book I've ever seen referenced in pop culture, but anyway, the two references, not incidences, that I'm thinking of are Gilmore Girls, because Rory is either reading this in the library or she's discussing it with another character, I forget which. And then also in Disreputable History of Frankie Landau Banks, Frankie really loves Gilmore Girls, so she actually checks this book out of the library just because Rory Gilmore likes it so much. And I think that that's awesome, because it's like, it's a book referenced in a TV show that's then referenced in another book, and that to me is just like reference inception, and I find it awesome. So anyway, there's that one. And then I have a Barnes & Noble haul. I went into Barnes & Noble strictly with this in mind, which is Return of the Native by Thomas Hardy. And I wanted to get this edition because there was a sale on, they have a sale 2 or 3 times a year where they do $5 classics. So all of their Barnes & Noble paperbacks are $5, no matter what the price is. And in this case, I only ended up saving, well, I ended up saving about half because it was down to $5, but then I have my 10% discount. Okay, so then so I saved like $3.50 instead of, anyway, it's $8. So yes, the reason I bought this, I already have this technically, but the copy that I have was from my grandfather, who I loved very, very much, so I kept it for sentimental reasons, but it's fine to pick up and everything, and fine to very carefully open, but I'm really afraid if I try to read it cover to cover, it will fall apart. And no, I can't do it. So I thought this was a great compromise because it is $5, and what a great price for a copy that I can actually, you know, read and flip through. And since it only costs $5, I don't mind if I put tabs all over it or anything like that. So yes, very excited about this one. And I will read you guys the back. It says, Clym Yeobright. Anyway, the native of the title returns to Hardy's fictional Egdon Heath, determined to be a force for social progress. Dazzled by the beauty of Eustacia Vi, he imagines they're soulmates, woos her and wins her, and enters into what is at first a passionate marriage. He soon discovers that what she really wants is a passport to a more exciting and sophisticated life away from provincial England. Surrounding them are Clym's mother, strongly opposed to his marriage, Damon Wildeve, in love with Eustacia but married to Clym's cousin Thomasin, and the oddly ambiguous observer Diggory Venn, whose frustrated love for Thomasine turns him into both a guardian angel and a jealous manipulator. First of all, I love the name Diggory. It just reminds me of both Harry Potter and Narnia. Even though, actually, Magician's Nephew, I didn't really like all that much. It took me like 4 times to actually get through it. So I think once I read all the Narnia books, that will actually be my least favorite, but it doesn't change the fact that I love the name Diggory. And the other thing is I actually stopped a couple sentences short because this does something that I don't like, which is it doesn't give away the ending, but it gives away the tone of the ending. And I don't like it when books do that because, okay, every once in a while, yes, if it is tragic enough, I want to be warned about it in advance. I want to know if I'm going to be sobbing my eyes out at the end. However, sometimes I don't want to know whether it's going to be a happy ending or a sad ending. So I really hate it when book summaries do that. I don't think that's really fair of book companies. And I feel like they do that a lot with classics because they're like, I think their thought is it's 200 years old. If you don't know by now, then you've been living under a rock. But still, it still kind of bothers me. So I'm not going to read you that couple sentences because it kind of gives away where it's going, I guess, if that makes sense. And I will, of course, be listening to the wonderful Alan Rickman narration of this that I think is available on either Hoopla or Overdrive. So this will definitely be on my list for this year, I hope. Next, oh good, we still have time. Next is The Night Manager by John le Carré, and oh my gosh, I am so excited that I found this copy because I don't know if I mentioned to you guys, but like last year when I saw it, but when I saw Night Manager, was it 2 years ago now? I don't even know, but anyway, when I saw Night Manager, I completely loved it. It has Tom Hiddleston and Hugh Laurie. Hugh Laurie is the villain, and Tom Hiddleston is the... Do you call him hero? I do, but I don't know if that's entirely accurate. But basically, I loved it so much because it was like, it was like Tom Hiddleston got to be Bond without the pressure of that name, because the whole way through this series, I was like, oh my gosh, Jonathan Pine basically is Bond. And so it was great, because Tom Hiddleston got to be that without the intense pressure that comes with it, and I just thought that was so cool. And the story itself is completely phenomenal. It was my first experience with anything that was adapted from John le Carre. I've never read any of his work. I was tempted to see Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, but now I kind of want to read the book first. But anyway, so I saw the TV series and just fell in love with it. However, the book version that came out at the time was all the kind of TV tie-in editions, and I love the movie poster, or the TV series poster. The TV series poster is half of Jonathan Pine's face and half of Richard Roper's face. So since it was Hugh Laurie and Tom Hiddleston, of course, that made me very happy. However, the book TV poster art, like this was another one of the TV posters, which is the one they made the book poster, or cover, I mean, and that was a diagonal gun, like a diagonal sniper gun, with pictures of the characters' faces all inside it, and it was really weird. Like, it was cool looking for a TV miniseries poster, or a movie poster even, but not for a book cover. Like, I was just like, this does not make me want to read this. And this is the cover that I had seen for the Penguin Modern Classics edition. It just has this part, because this whole typography, that's the word I was looking for earlier when I was talking about Woodhouse, when I was talking about the text, but this typography is unique to the American editions, I think, because the Penguin Modern Classics has their own special typography, but they use the same picture. And I saw it and I was like, that is gorgeous. But I thought at the time that it was a little bit pricey, and it was going to take 2 or 3 weeks because it was on Book Depository, so I kept putting it off and putting it off. And this was probably only like $2 cheaper, or it may have even been the same price. But when I was in Barnes & Noble getting Return of the Native, I thought, hey, I'll just check and see if it's there, see if they have a different edition. I did not know that this edition had come out, because they have all his other books in these editions, but I never saw this edition of Night Manager, so I didn't even realize it had come out, and I just checked randomly, and it was there, and I was so happy. Like, I was like, oh my gosh, it's beautiful, because, especially for me, because it's orange, blue, and purple, and those are my 3 favorite colors. Like, green is probably my 4th favorite color, but these are all my favorites. I don't really know, looking at it, I don't know if there is actually purple in here, but it kind of looks like it. But anyway, so yes, I was so excited to find this beautiful edition, and now I'm going to read you guys the back of this. It says, John le Carre, the legendary author of sophisticated spy thrillers, is at the top of his game in this classic novel of a world in chaos. With the Cold War over, a new era of espionage has begun. In the power vacuum left by the Soviet Union, arms dealers and drug smugglers have risen to immense influence and wealth. The sinister master of them all is Richard Onslow Roper, the charming, ruthless Englishman whose operation seems untouchable. Slipping into this maze of peril is Jonathan Pine, a former British soldier who's currently the night manager of a posh hotel in Zurich. Having learned to hate and fear Roper more than any man on earth, Pine is willing to do whatever it takes to help the agents at Whitehall bring him down, and personal vengeance is just only part of the reason why. So, yes, I'm so excited to get to read this and then rewatch the miniseries either on television if it re-airs on AMC, or the library, or I may cave and just buy it, because I loved it that much. So, yeah, super excited about this. Okay, so I'm going to stop there, because I'm about to go over the 15-minute mark. So in part 2 I will talk about the remaining 5 books, and hopefully I won't talk about them that long. But thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you have read any of these and what your thoughts were, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.